Hello everyone, welcome back to the another video tutorial of PM by Passion Academy, and today's topic is about tissues, animal tissues. This topic is very important in the entire syllabus, and from this topic minimum 5 questions can be arrived in the each and every zoology entrance exams. So don't skip this topic and watch till the end, because this topic is not so easy and also not so difficult, and I will try to make you remember this topic and I will make it easy for you, okay? I hope this video will be helpful for you guys. Those who are new here are watching for the first time my videos, so please do subscribe the channel. So let's start. Animal tissues. What is tissue? At first we have to know what is tissue. So tissue is a group of cells that possesses a similar structure and perform a specific or definite functions. Actually tissues are of 4 types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. These are the main categories of tissues. Tissues are mainly of 4 types. Let's see what are epithelial tissues. Epithelial tissues form the protective covering and the inner lining of the body and organs. These epithelial tissues were the first to evolve during evolution and were first formed during embryonic development. They develop from the ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm of the embryo. What are these? So ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm are the germinal epitheliums which are developed during the embryonic development. What are the characteristics of epithelial tissues? These can be single layered or multi-layered. If the epithelial tissue is single layered, then we can call it simple epithelial tissue, or it is maybe multi-layer. If the epithelial tissue may be multi-layered, then we can call it stratified epithelial tissue. So these are 2 types: single layered and multi-layered. These tissues have the power to regenerate the cells or regenerate the tissues. These are held together by gap junctions, tight junctions, zonular adherents and desmosums. The plasma membrane of these cells is specialized into flagella, cilia and microvilli. So what is connective tissue? Connective tissues develops from the mesodermal cells of the embryo and they support and bind on the other tissues inside the body. These are made up of mainly 3 components: intercellular matrix, cells and fibers. And what is the functions of connective tissue? These are mainly perform 5 functions inside our body. They attach organs and tissues together. They store fat in the form of adipose tissues. They help in repairing tissues and prevent the organs from the mechanical shocks, and the organs also helps in defense systems. So these are the 5 main functions of connective tissue. Let's see what is muscular tissue. The muscular tissue develops from the mesoderm of the embryo and it is also of 3 types: cardiac muscle, smooth muscle and skeletal muscle. Muscular tissue also performs 3 types of functions. It helps in movement and locomotion of the body. It supports the bones and other structures, and it is responsible for peristalsis and parturition movement. Peristalsis occurs in digestive system and parturition means childbirth. So these are the 3 main functions of muscular tissue. Let's see what is the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue makes up the peripheral and central nervous system. It develops from the ectoderm of the embryo. Ectoderm is the outer germinal epithelium of the embryo. It possesses the ability to initiate and transmit the nerve impulse. 3 main components of nervous system are neurons, neuroglia and neurosecretory cells. What are they? Neurons are the structural and functional unit of nervous system which comprise of axon, cell body and dendrites. What is neuroglia? Neuroglia are special cells found in the brain and spinal cord, and they provide support to the neurons and neural fibers. What are the neurosecretory cells? The function of these cells like endocrine organs. They release chemicals from the axons and directly pour into the blood. These are the 4 types of tissues: epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues and nervous or neural tissues. Here some classifications of animal tissues. Epithelial tissue again classified into 6 types: simple squamous epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium, columnar epithelium, stratified columnar epithelium, cuboidal epithelium and glandular epithelium. Then connective tissue is of three types: connective tissue proper, supportive connective tissue, fluid connective tissue. Then connective tissue proper is again of three types: areolar connective tissue, adipose connective tissue, fibrous connective tissue. Then supportive connective tissue is only of two types: cartilage and bone, and also fluid connective tissue is of two types: blood and lymph. Then comes to muscular tissue. Muscular tissue is also of three types: striated muscular tissue, non-striated muscular tissue, and cardiac muscular tissue. So these are the classifications of epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, and connective tissue. Here we see epithelial tissue is divided into 6 types. By the way, these 6 types are the main classifications of epithelial tissue, but broadly epithelial tissues are of 9 types. If 9 types, so what are they? Here is a chart of the complete location and function of the classification of epithelial tissue, which will be great benefit to you to remember, and you can easily remember it by this chart. So please note down the chart, okay? So these are the basic concepts of tissues. What is tissue, what is animal tissue, what are the characteristics of tissue, what are the types of tissues. So these are the basic knowledge about tissues, okay? So let's move to our MCQs, and the first question is here. Stratified squamous epithelium is found in trachea, epidermis, mouth cavity or buccal cavity, or lining of blood vessels. So what's the right answer? The right answer is epidermis. Stratified squamous epithelium tissue is found in epidermis. Where would you find the mast cells? Adipose tissue, areolar tissue, yellow fibrous tissue, or white fibrous tissue? And the mast cells are found in areolar tissues. The only connective tissue without fibroblast is areolar connective tissue, bone, cartilage, or blood. The only connective tissue without the fibroblast is blood. So, blood has no fibroblasts. In these tissue cells, lacuna are enclosed within cartilage, bone tissue, both cartilage and bone tissue, or muscular tissue. So, the right answer is both cartilage and bone tissues. Option C, both A and both B. Mast cells are linked to neural tissue, areolar connective tissue, endocrine glands, or exocrine glands. So, mast cells are linked to areolar connective tissue. These are brain macrophages. What are they? Astrocytes, or microglial cells, or ependymal cells, or oligodendrocytes. So, what are the brain macrophages? Microglial cells are the brain macrophages. This is not a function of neuroglia. Phagocytosis, isolation of neurons, secretion of cerebrospinal fluid or CSF, and information processing. So, which is not a function of neuroglia? Information processing is not a function of neuroglia. Other three functions are of neuroglia. This cell is not a type of neuroglia found in CNS. Microglia, astrocytes, ependymal cells, or Schwann cells. So, what's the right answer? The right answer is Schwann cells. Option D is the correct answer. Categorization of epithelial tissue is based on this: function, type of matrix, structural modifications, non-voluntary or voluntary action. So, the right answer is option C, structural modifications. This is correct about epithelial tissue: lack of nerve supply, lack of blood supply, lack of free surface, or lack of intracellular matrix. So, which is the correct statement about epithelial tissue? Lack of blood supply is the correct statement about epithelial tissue. In connective tissue sheaths, this is not correct sequence stretching from the outermost to the innermost layer. So, what are the sequences? Let's see. Epineurium, endoneurium, perineurium, or option B, perineurium, epineurium, and endoneurium. Option C, perineurium, endoneurium, then epineurium, or option D, epineurium, then perineurium, then endoneurium. So, what is the correct sequence? The correct sequence is first epineurium, then perineurium, and lastly endoneurium. So, finally option D is the correct answer of the correct sequence of stretching from the outermost to the inner layer of the connective tissue sheaths. Okay. So, Number 12 questions. This is the difference between a nerve and a neuron. Consists of different number of cells. One has motor and other has sensory functions. Nerves are made up of grey matter while neurons of white matter. Nerves are present in central nervous system only. So what's the right answer? The right answer is option A. It consists of different number of cells. Which one of the following is not essentially a part of nervous system? Cyton, axon, myelinated nerve fiber or intermedian. So intermedian is not an essential part of nervous system. Cyton, axon and myelinated nerve fiber are the parts of nervous system. Okay. Graveyard of RBCs is liver, spleen, kidney, all of the above. So the right answer is spleen. Graveyard of RBC is spleen. The skeletal tissue consists of organic matrix is called as hyaline cartilage, chondrin, osteoblast or chondroblast. So the skeletal tissue consists of organic matrix is called chondrin. The word epithelium was coined by Malpighi, Rishak, Bichat or none. So the answer is Rishak. Rishak was the first scientist who coined the term epithelium or epithelial tissue. Who propounded the sliding filament theory for muscles contraction? Cori, H.E. Huxley, A.F. Huxley or both H.E. Huxley and A.F. Huxley? So the answer is both H.E. Huxley and A.F. Huxley are the first scientists who propounded the sliding filament theory for the muscle contraction. Number 18 question. An osteon contains one Haversian canal and Haversian lamellae. Option B, Haversian canal and Volkmann's canal. Option C, Haversian canal and circumferential lamellae, or option D, Haversian canal, Haversian lamellae and osteoblast layer. So an osteon contains one Haversian canal and Haversian lamellae. Option A is the right answer. Number 19 question. Which type of neurons are found in the retina? Unipolar, pseudo-unipolar, multipolar or bipolar? So which type of neurons are found in the retina of eye? Pseudo-unipolar types of neurons are found in the retina of the eye. Which of the following is a transparent tissue? Tendon, ligament, fibrous cartilage or hyaline cartilage? So hyaline cartilage is a transparent tissue. Which of the following is the strongest cartilage? Hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, white fibrous cartilage or violet fibrous cartilage? So the white fibrous cartilage is the strongest cartilage of the connective tissue. Epithelial tissue performs the following functions: protection, secretion, absorption, respiration. Protection, secretion, sensation and absorption. Protection, secretion, absorption and digestion, or none of the above. So what's the right answer? The epithelial tissue functions as protection, secretion, sensation and absorption. So option B is the right answer. Number 23 question. Average lifespan of human RBC is 100 days, 90 days, 120 days or none. So we know already the answer. The lifespan of human RBC is 120 days. Option C is the right answer. The muscles involved in the movement of the arm are unstriped, striped, cardiac or alar muscles. So the muscles involved in the movement of arm are striped muscles. Formation of cartilage is known as dipedesis, chondrogenesis, hemopoiesis or ossification. So the formation of cartilage is known as chondrogenesis. Bone marrow is made up of muscular fiber and fatty tissue and areolar tissue, fatty tissue and cartilage, or fatty tissue, areolar tissue and blood vessels. So bone marrow is made up of by fatty tissues, areolar tissues and blood vessels. These are the three components of bone marrow. Pavement epithelium is another name for cuboidal epithelium, ciliated epithelium, simple squamous epithelium or stratified epithelium. So pavement epithelium is the another name for simple squamous epithelium. Blood is formed of plasma and bone marrow cells, plasma and white and red blood cells, plasma and white blood cells or plasma and red blood cells. So blood is formed of plasma, white blood cells or WBC and red blood cells or RBC. These are the three components of blood. Number 29 question. Striped muscles have one nucleus, many nuclei, two nuclei or no nuclei. So striped muscles have many nuclei. The channel which causes damage of WBC, bone marrow, spleen, lymph nodes and lungs is iodine 131, calcium, strontium 90 or iodine 127. So the chemical which causes the damage of these organs, that is strontium 90. Strontium 90 is the very dangerous chemical which causes the damage of WBC, bone marrow, spleen, lymph nodes and lungs. Okay. Number 31 question. Inner surface of fallopian tubes, bronchi and bronchioles are lined by squamous epithelium, ciliated epithelium, columnar epithelium or cubical epithelium. So the right answer is ciliated epithelium. The inner surface of fallopian tubes, bronchi and bronchioles are lined up by ciliated epithelium. Intervertebral disc is made up of elastic cartilage, fibrous cartilage, calcified cartilage or hyaline cartilage. What is intervertebral disc? The intervertebral disc is a disc-shaped layer of cartilage separating the adjacent vertebrae in the spinal cord, and this disc is made up of by fibrous cartilage. So intervertebral disc is made up of option B, fibrous cartilage. Number 33 question. The neurilemma surrounds the axis cylinder, cell body, myelin sheath or endoneurium. So the neurilemma surrounds the cell body. Scandidian membrane is found in nasal passage, trachea, Bowman's capsule or loop of Henle. What is Scandidian membrane? At first we have to know about what is Scandidian membrane. So it is found within the nasal chamber which helps to smell or acts as the olfactory receptor. So here we got the answer. Scandidian membrane is found in nasal passage. Option A, trachea, Bowman's capsule and loop of Henle is the wrong answer. And why is this membrane is so named? Because a name after the scientist Konrad Victor Skender, who was a German physician from Wittenberg, Germany, and he discovered this membrane in 1660. So according to his name, this membrane is known as Scandidian membrane, and this membrane is located in nasal passage or nose, which acts as the olfactory receptor. Okay. So let's move to our 35 question. Sarcoplasm is the cytoplasm of nerve fibers, cytoplasm of muscle fibers, unit of muscle contraction or none of the above. So sarcoplasm is found in cytoplasm of muscle fibers. Which of the following tissue is called as homeostatic reservoir? Cartilage, bone, calcified cartilage or all of the above. So which of the following tissue is called as homeostatic reservoir? Homeostatic reservoir is known as calcified cartilage. Collagen fibers of connective tissue are white, yellow, colorless or red. Collagen fibers of the connective tissue is white in color. Glissan's capsule is a delicate connective tissue capsule covering the spleen, liver, kidney or gallbladder. So the answer is liver. Glissan's capsule is a delicate connective tissue capsule which covers the liver. Next, myoglobin is found in muscles, blood, liver or spleen. So myoglobin is found in muscle cells, and the myo is the term which comes from muscles. That's why we can guess the answer. Myoglobin is found in muscle cells. Brush bordered epithelium is found in fallopian tube, intestine or small intestine, stomach and trachea. Brush bordered epithelium is found in small intestine. Option B is the right answer. Here we finally completed 40 questions of our MCQ marathon, and we will discuss many more questions in the next video which are very important for you guys. So stay tuned and keep practicing.